Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I'm super excited today because we're celebrating a small milestone for my channel. I know it's only 5K, but thank you to every single one of you that's helped me reach 5,000 subscribers. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate every like, comment, and view on here. I know I'm a little late getting this up, but I'll definitely be doing more Q&As and giveaways in the future. I think it's a great way for me to connect with you guys, especially on some of the topics that might be a little more complicated to answer. So if you haven't already, you can check out the details of the giveaway over on my Instagram, and let's get started with the first question. The first question is from Kenny F. is a person. Favorite tournament memory? My favorite on-court tournament memory was probably the 2015 Toronto Pan Am Games, where I was able to get a bronze medal. That Pan Am Games was really memorable for me because it was my first medal at a Continental Games, and I also had all of my friends in Toronto supporting me. Favorite off-court memory is definitely the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Opening ceremony. I remember walking the opening ceremony in the stadium, and I actually had my phone on me, so I was able to find my parents and my brother in the stands while I was walking in the stadium. So that was an unforgettable moment for me. Next question is from Samir01. Who was the toughest opponent you have played against and why? I would say probably 2015 Wei Nan at the World Championships, or Lee Hun-il from Korea during the Canada Open, during probably one of his last few years of playing. But obviously 2015 Wei Nan, unbelievable smashes. I mean, the guy was just absolutely unreal from an attacking perspective. And Lee Hun-il, which is kind of the opposite, is just an absolute master when it comes to quality of shots, depth of lifts and clears. Playing him, I just felt like he was just completely picking my game apart. So those would probably be two of the toughest opponents I've ever faced. All right, next question. This is a question that I probably get the most in all different kinds of variations, but basically it's how do I balance work and badminton or school and badminton when I was previously at UCLA? And for this, I think it really just comes down to two things. It's time management and planning. Simply put, don't waste time. Just be as intentful and efficient with your time as possible. I think as athletes, we actually have a lot of downtime when traveling, whether it's in airports, on flights, and in hotels. And you really want to maximize that time, even if it means you have to sacrifice some leisure activities. It definitely is going to take a lot of discipline, but I promise you that in the end, it will be really rewarding. And the second thing that's really necessary is planning. You really need to be cognizant of the situation that you put yourself in. For example, I started working in the consulting industry at one of the big four, and I was able to get a flexible work arrangement that allowed me to work remote projects while I was traveling for tournaments. And now, obviously, post-COVID era, there's lots of possibilities to work remote. Of course, this will be really different if you're in a career path like a hands-on practicing doctor. So kind of planning your situation is gonna be really, really important as well. All right, next question is basically, what are my plans after badminton? I'm going to continue my career in consulting, which I started back in 2018 at EY. I've since left Big Corp and gone into industry as a consultant still, but I also plan to spend some more time to grow this YouTube channel. Next question from Music Assassin 3K. How did you find income to train at the start of your badminton career? I think, as I would say most players do in the very beginning, I had the support from my parents when I was a really young junior player. Then I was really fortunate in that almost all of my training was sponsored by my clubs through the rest of my career. Next question is from Boyani209. It's, do I string my own rackets? If so, what kind of machine do I use? And also, what's my favorite Yonex shirt? No, I don't have my own stringing machine, and no, I don't string my own rackets. I know how to string my own rackets, but I've done them in the past. Nowadays, I think I'm just a little bit too busy with work and training, so I either get them done at tournaments or I just pay to have them strung at a pro shop. Favorite shirt? I don't know if I have an all-time favorite shirt, but one of them that does stand out to me is the polka dot collared shirt that kind of has like a golf polo vibe to it that I really like. Next question from Benjamin Chu 8676. What is your main goal for 2024 in terms of badminton and for your YouTube channel? Main badminton goal for 2024 obviously has been to qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics. And for my YouTube channel, My main goal is to just make badminton knowledge and content more accessible, whether it comes to equipment reviews, match analysis, or career advice on and off the court. I hope that people can draw some value out of my experiences and content, especially because I feel like I've had a more unique background and badminton journey. Next one is, how do you keep improving in badminton in the long term, 5, 10, 20 years of playing? I think in terms of improvement over a long period of time, you really have to focus on what you're capable of and your specific situation. What I was capable of improving on in my 20s is obviously very different than what I'm trying to improve on now in my 30s. For example, when I was younger, I was able to focus more on speed, strength, and agility. But now my focus has shifted much more towards taking care of my body and focusing on longevity. All right, next one from @EternityXBlade, who actually has quite a few questions. So let me try to tackle these one by one. First one is, aside from funding, what do you think USA or North American badminton needs in order to bring the average level of play up to compete against other powerhouse nations? I'll actually give you two things that I think are aside from funding. Number one, I think it's time, and number two, I think it's commitment. Time, because over time, I think we're already seeing the average level of play throughout the world improving from regions like North America and Pan Am. I mean, you can really see it in the diversity of the world rankings nowadays versus 20, 30, maybe 40 years ago. I think if you take the top 100 men's singles, for example, you have players from all over the world now, and I think it's really a result of the globalization of sports in general. I mean, we all know how technology has made the world a more connected place, and it's really allowing people to learn and improve much faster to catch up to some of the powerhouse nations. So I think it's just over time, you're gonna see countries catch up to the powerhouse nations or just produce more high caliber leveled players. And the second thing is commitment. Again, I don't think it's always money. I think it's really important to recognize that our system and Western culture is just naturally different than some of the other powerhouse nations. There's obviously a big difference between us and a country with a state or government-sponsored national team, like a Chinese national team, whereas our players are all independent, which makes it more difficult to get the players to sacrifice all other aspects of their lives. Many of our upcoming juniors have aspirations outside of badminton to go to a top-tier university, to become a doctor, to work in tech. And obviously, in an idealistic world where only badminton matters, you don't have to consider any of these things. But from my experience, I think that this level of freedom from our type of system has its benefits also. I mean, this was kind of the position that I've been in my entire career as a dual career athlete. And so there's just a natural difference in the level of commitment you get from players that are in a national team system versus our more independent styled system. Their next question was basically a goal for YouTube. I think I've answered that already. What are the 3 best off-court exercises to help improve muscles most commonly used in badminton? The first one that I'll give you is jump roping. Not only is it cardio, but it's super effective for explosiveness and building all of the different muscle fibers like slow twitch fibers, which is your endurance, but also fast twitch fibers, which is your speed. Second is resistance band exercises, and there's just so much that you can do with the different types of bands out there. You have different lengths, different tensions that you can use, and they're super good for strengthening, mobility, but you can also use them in injury recovery and rehab exercises. The third one I would say is probably hitting against the wall. It's just a super easy exercise that you can do by yourself, and it increases your reflexes and hand-eye coordination. Those are some super good questions, you guys. Let's do this again at 10K subscribers, so make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Let's get this to 10,000 subscribers and I'll do a racket giveaway for that Q&A video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.